Okay, there's a lot of changes to this greenhouse. Now I got that black fungus on it and I had to pull that out. And I need to water. It is super hot in here. The electrician came last week and changed out this plug back here. And that's why that big fan was not coming on. Let me get over here, guys. Ah! I'm getting old and it hurts to move. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this and this. We're gonna run the louver. And that will cool us off, my friends. That'll pull that air through here. Ah, it is hot. I can hardly breathe. I have an ant problem coming in here. I'm not real sure how to get rid of those ants. But I definitely have to water. Whew. Oh, that feels better. Okay. Let me get up here real quick. Ah! So I went ahead and planted some sugar baby bush watermelon in here. And I got these little things falling. And looks like they wiped out 2 of them. 3 of them. I only have 1 on this one. But I have a bag. And it looks like it had a bug crawl in there. That's crazy. It looks like one of those darkling beetles. Anyway. Here we go. I'm gonna set this back and kind of do this. Got stuff all over the screen. Sorry about that. It looks like I still have some stuff going on here. Oh. Yeah. The thorns on the citrus are pretty tight. This is that extra one that I trimmed off the bottom to see if I could just get another plant going, and it was doing great, but for some odd reason I've had a little bit of issues. And I'm going to go ahead and just take this out since it's not doing so good. Ooh, it needs to cool off in here. Pretty brutal. I have trouble with my right hand. I cannot make it work sometimes. Anyway, my patience is gone. So I'm just going to pull that out. But, sorry, it is hot in here. What I'm going to do is show a video on how to save your tomato seeds properly without cross-pollination or cross-contamination. See, I'm already having issues here still. And I've got the dehumidifier hooked up and there's air circulating, so I don't know what's going on. So anyway, right here, let me scoot that out of the way so you can see. Right there, when the flowers drop down before they open up into the bloom, before they get to that point, this is the stage that you bag it. And they call it bagging the bloom. I've got some new people following me, and so I wanted to show them this. And this is on heirlooms. I don't recommend saving commercial varieties because you don't know if how they've grown them. You don't know anything about them. But once they've opened up into that flower, then they can be pollinated. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. You can just cover this up, the whole. It's hard to do this with one hand, so I'm going to put that right there. Hopefully y'all can see. You just take the whole leaf right here, kind of carefully put it in there where you covered that. See right there? So it's covered. And then you just lightly close that where it's not tight. A little bit more so that the pollinators cannot get in there and pollinate that bloom. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that because I have some new people following my channel and I was trying to explain to them how to save the heirloom seeds and how to keep things from cross-pollinating. So that is how you do it on that. Peppers are the exact same way. So here you go. Right here, when they drop into the little bud before they bloom into the pepper, actually it would be this flower right here. Before it opens up into the flower, it's right there. That one right there. That's what you would bag. Now also, when you bag this, when it gets big and it's ripe and ready to harvest, that's when you take the bag, open it up, take your pepper, your tomato, whatever you have. You write down the date, the variety, and then you take it in. Now peppers, all you have to do is cut them open once they're ripe, spread the seeds onto a coffee filter and let them dry. Make sure they are thoroughly dry before you package them up. Another thing on the tomatoes, I will kind of demonstrate more later. You take the tomato and you squeeze the pulp into a canning jar. You add just a smidge of water with that pulp and you screw the lid on lightly, finger tight. You lightly kind of shake it a little bit. Then you let that ferment for 3 days. You kind of check on it, lightly shake it each day, just very lightly, just to kind of move the water around and the pulp. Then you take it into a fine mesh strainer that the seeds cannot flow through. And I recommend those wire metal strainers that have where the water can go through but the seeds cannot. Even tiny seeds can't flow through it. And then you rinse it really good. Then you pop those seeds onto a dry coffee filter. Also, before you do that, let me back up a little bit, sorry. You write down the variety and the date of that seed so that you don't lose track of it. I recommend you let it dry for a couple days on one side, then you flip the seeds over and dry them a couple days on the other. Then you put them in an envelope, label that envelope, time, date, year, and then you put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you store them in your refrigerator or freezer. Either way, they're gonna last longer in the freezer. So there you go, guys. That is how you do it on these two things. I highly recommend that book, Seed to Seed, and that's by Susan Ashworth or something like that. I forgot her last name. But you can search for that book, and that tells you how to properly save a lot of stuff without cross-contamination. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. And this is Wendy at Hardknack Farms, and I hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm going to take this little bowl of weeds out the door, and that one too, because I have trouble with this weed. I don't like it. It's coming up everywhere in here. But I got to get to watering, and I got to get to work. So talk at y'all later. Take care.